Good evening and welcome to the Arthur Chat Show with Linda D. Brown on Google Hangouts on Air. My guest today is author Arielle Caputo. Arielle's book, Love You, Love Me, Love We. And she is releasing this book in honor of Suicide Prevention Month or Week. I'm not really sure. So let's just go ahead and see if Ariella is available. And we'll go ahead and get started with the interview here. Okay, let's see. Invite. All righty, so we're just waiting for her to just come on in, and we'll go ahead and get started. I do want to remind my viewers, for those of you that listen to our Arthur Chat broadcast, I just want to remind you that we'll be doing a special broadcast Saturday, starting, it's not going to be at our usual time. It's going to be at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time to 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'm going to be chatting. I'm going to be actually hosting a workshop at the St. Louis Public Library, and we are going to be doing a program on how to become, how to be a let's see, how to star in your own radio show. It's on podcasting. So it looks like our guest has arrived. And again, this is for those of you just tuning in. This is the Arthur Chat Show on Google Hangouts on Air. I'm your host, Linda D. Brown. And again, my guest, first time on the Arthur Chat Show, radio or Google Hangouts on Air. Her name is Arielle Caputo. And Ariella is going to be chatting with us about her new book and about another project that is very special to her heart. So, Ariella, welcome to the Arthur Chat Show on Google Hangouts on Air.
Thank you. Happy to be here, as always.
Well, it is a pleasure to actually see you and meet you. This is your first time on our show, Ariella. Would you mind starting off by telling us a little bit about yourself? What part of the world do you call home?
I currently live in Hollywood, California. I've been here about 3 years, and this is my home. I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, but I love here in California.
Great. My younger sister actually lives out that way. How long have you been out there?
In Hollywood, 3.5 years.
Oh, great. Okay. All right. Now, you've just released a book called Love You, Love Me, Love We. Is that correct? Great. All right. The first one of my guests to actually hold up her book. Okay. There's something first of all, the book is being released this week. Is that correct?
Oh, no, it was released in June.
In June. Okay. Tell us a little bit about the book and what's so special about this particular month.
For sure. Okay, so I'm going to rewind a teeny bit. I'm actually a suicide intervention coach. So I run several support groups in Los Angeles, and I also run a 24/7 online chat room. So after running those and dealing with lots of depression and suicide, I felt I needed to write a book. So I wrote this book. It was released on my birthday, June 18th, so it was my gift to the world. It's 365 pages, so 1 page a day, and it's just intertwined with quotes, success stories, tips for healthy, happy living, but most importantly, it's hundreds of ways to pay it forward and spread love in the modern world. So it's all based off of the quote, our happiness increases with our service to others. And so I would tell people, well, you need to go pay it forward, go spread love, go help someone else. And we would come up with a million excuses. I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I'm an at-home mom, the weather's crappy, I can't leave my house. We have tons of excuses. And so I just kept researching and trying to find ways to do that. I mean, we live in 2014. We have phones at our fingertip. There should be apps. And I actually found so many cool apps and programs and companies, and so I compiled them all into a book. So the goal is that you read 1 page a day, you learn about a new way to pay it forward, and you begin your year-long journey to happiness. So it's very easy reading.
Great. You are getting some fabulous reviews on Amazon with this particular book. Now, you wanted to release the book or to for sure promote the book for particularly this week. Tell us why.
Okay, so again, I'm a suicide intervention coach. So this week is World Suicide Awareness Week. And so we have a couple of promotions going on. I'm doing different giveaways on my website. I also run an Instagram where I post motivational videos, thoughts of the day, and anyone who retags or reposts gets entered into a giveaway. We're also teamed up with a company that design watches, and so proceeds of the watches are going towards suicide awareness, stuff like that. So yeah, I picked this week because of the World Suicide Awareness Week. I I have been in depression, and so when I was writing this book, I literally poured all my heart and soul into this, and I firmly stand behind it. I mean, the book starts off with my own personal story, and so when anyone comes to me, crying or having a hard time, I say, well, would you like to read my book? Because I truly believe I put so much love and effort into this. I truly believe that the ideas in here can help someone begin their journey to happiness.
Absolutely. Now, with this being World Suicide Awareness Week, does the fact that it's today is the an anniversary of the 9/11 world, the terrorist attacks that happened back in September of 2001, is this a coincidence that it happens to fall this week, or is this basically what you pattern the World Suicide Awareness Week after the September 11th? Because so many people they were so heartbroken over what happened. So I know a lot of people did commit suicide. Is there a reason that this falls on basically the same week as 9/11?
Not that I am aware of, no. I believe it's purely coincidental.
Okay, great.
September is known as Suicide Awareness Month. So this whole month, there's a whole bunch of different walks happening out of darkness. There's a whole bunch of different movements happening. September 10th is World Suicide Day. It's been that way for years, so it just happens to be that
Gotcha.
11 is on 9/11 is today.
Well, Arielle, hopefully your book will be purchased by some people that might be still suffering from lingering effects of what happened in 2001. So I think it's great that we're actually promoting the book today. Now, you said that you work the suicide prevention hotline. So do you work, is it teens, adults, or is it a combination of both?
It's mainly teenagers. I started the chat room because after volunteering with the hotline, I found so many of the younger generation first of all, they don't make phone calls to begin with, and a lot of them don't even have minutes on their phones. There's a lot of kids that have phones, but they're using data or Wi-Fi or using their parents' plan, and so they don't or aren't able to make phone calls, or they don't want their parents to know. And so there's a whole group of, I felt, a generation of children that need help and they aren't getting help. So when I created the chat room, it was specifically in mind for teenagers to be able to have someone at their fingertips to reach out to for help. Before I became certified suicide intervention coach, I started a motivational Instagram and website. So I post the motivational thought of the day. And how it turned out was that so many people started turning to me asking me for help. They would send me videos of them cutting, pictures, noose marks, crying, tears, these long stories. And I would be like, you need to go to the hotline. And I'd give them the hotline number. But so many of these young adults wanted to talk to me.
Right.
Because they had seen my videos and seen me speak on Instagram and my website, and so they felt like they knew me. And so I was putting a face to it, and so that's when I realized that there was a need there, and that's when I created the chat room, because then they're like, oh, we see her, we see what she does, and so they feel safer or able to confide in me.
Absolutely.
So
that's awesome.
And there's actually a couple chat rooms out there. It's just, and I'm not hating on them. By all means, I'm very appreciative to everyone who supports this. A lot of them just have a lot of questions that you have to answer before you even get started. And one, when you're in a deep, dark place, the last thing you want to do is answer a mirage of questions. You want help now. And
Yeah.
two, the more questions you ask someone, the less privacy that they feel they have. They start to feel invaded, and people just want to feel safe and trusted. They don't want to worry about the cops being called on them or their parents being told. Even though they don't have their parents' phone numbers, the more you start asking and prying, the less they are about wanting to confide in you.
Exactly. Arielle, for our audience that's tuning in to this evening, we know that depression is a huge problem here in the U.S. Again, not only with teens, but also adults. We still have a lot of adults still trying to recover from the economic collapse of 2007, 2008, and they haven't quite gotten back to where they were before the collapse. What are some of the signs that parents, loved ones can look for? Because sometimes with depression, um, what might look like you just, being a little laid back or, just relaxing or as the kids say, chilling, could actually be a sign of somebody being so depressed they can't really quite move. What are some of the things we need to look for?
You pretty much named it, lack of interest, suddenly not caring or not wanting to do things, to try new things, to even step out of your home. When you're depressed, you lose energy mentally and physically, and so you kind of just want to be left alone. It's easier to just stay in bed, and so you start calling people less, you start texting less, you're less likely to step out and join in social events. So that's one major sign there. Two, a majority of people who actually attempt suicide or are depressed usually call out. They usually say something. And I know when I was in my depression, I felt like me personally, I was screaming on the top of my lungs for help, and no one was truly listening. So to others, it may feel like they're just not caring, but so there's a miscommunication there. So my advice is to truly tune into people around you. Sometimes I've had this happen to me numerous times. I literally have been thinking about someone on my mind, and I'll be like, you know what, I'm just gonna send them a quick text just to check on them. And I sent that text, and I'll get a reply back, or I'll get a call back like, oh my goodness, thank you. I literally was about to attempt suicide, or I was literally in a really hard place, and your simple text just made a difference. So it's really easy for us to reach out, and I would just encourage people to just take those 2 seconds longer to shoot the message, the email, the Facebook post, whatever it is we can do to reach out to someone.
Absolutely. Now, you said your book came out early this summer. How are you promoting your book, and who is your target audience?
My book is on Amazon. It is also on my website. So there's a paperback and there's an ebook version. I wrote the book targeting all ages. I wanted, because I deal with parents, I deal with children and teens as low as 8 years old. And so when I designed the book, I really created it so that anyone who needs suggestions could turn 2 pages and find what it is for them. So it's in several school libraries. I also donate it to homeless shelters, to different 911 centers, to battered shelters for women. It's across the board in so many different, it's in psych wards, it's in different hospitals, veterans' homes. So there really is something in there for everyone, because we all have one thing in common. We all want to be happy.
Absolutely.
So there really is something for everyone in there.
Awesome. Now, have you did any book events promoting, kind of tying in the whole suicide prevention, and then maybe selling your book or making sure your book is available for purchase afterwards? How are you marketing your book, sweetie?
Okay, so we did a free ebook on my birthday. I have a promotion code going on right now. It's actually on my website, so 50% off the book.
And what's the website?
It is deepinlove.com.
Okay.
That is DEAPinlove.com. Deepinlove.com.
Excellent.
So
Oh,
yeah, there's a 50% off code on there. Yesterday I did run a free ebook all day in regards to World Suicide Day.
excellent. Okay, and did you get a lot of downloads for that?
I did. I had a very good response. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is just awesome. So, Ariel, is this your first book?
This is. If you would have met me 1 year ago, I started writing my book in January, and I
Uh-huh.
completed it. I completed it in May. So if
Okay.
you would have talked to me in December and asked me if I was writing a book, I would have been like, nope. I never thought I would write a book. I had
Ex-
no idea.
Okay, and did you self-publish or did you go through a traditional publisher?
I self-published through Amazon.
Excellent. Create Space?
Yes.
Uh-huh. How did you like the process?
I absolutely loved it, and I am absolutely amazed on how easy the process is, and I'm actually helping two dear friends right now publish a book of their own. So,
Right. So now you can add book coach to your
yep.
many different skills that you do. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now the paperback book, since it's 300 plus pages, what is the retail price on the paperback on Amazon? Do you know?
Yeah, I believe it's a 9.99. Unless you have Prime, it changes a little bit.
Okay. And what about the Kindle version?
Kindle version is 3.99.
3.99. Great. Okay. Now, Ariel, what are your plans from this point forward? Are you working on a sequel, or are you just now taking the time to just go ahead and really get the book out there?
I have so many plans in the works. So one major event coming up is October 18th. We're doing a huge charity event. We have teamed up with the homeless shelter for teenagers here in Hollywood, California. There's about 60 teens, and so we're bringing them a day of royalty. We have live music, drinks, food. I have barbers for the boys coming in, hairstylists and makeup for the girls. I have several celebrities coming in, and so we're just going to come in and give these kids a complete party, a day of royalty for the whole day for no reason, just to show them that they're not forgotten.
Yeah,
Um,
that's awesome.
and the reason why I do these events every single month, because I firmly believe that if we reached out to the community, to people around us, we could connect with people and offer them help before they believe suicide is their answer.
Mhm.
So we try to do a major charity event once a month. So that's the next one we have coming up. I also started my own online talk show.
Excellent.
So yes, and so we had a huge talk show yesterday actually for World Suicide Day, which was, I hate to say the word fun because it's a hard topic, but it was a lot of fun. We need people who come together and who want to support and bring a voice to the same cause. It's a beautiful thing. So yeah, I
Right.
have a talk show going. I'm just looking to expand that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will eventually be starting my own reality TV show, so taking it from web to TV. And
Uh-huh.
the long-term goal is to open a live-in recovery center. So
Awesome.
the book was just the first step. I built the Instagram and I built the website. I published the book. All of this was just to establish my name
Okay.
and to move in. So
So you,
I did a virtual book tour over
okay.
the summer, which was a
Okay.
lot of fun. And
Yeah.
then now we're planning the actual book tour, traveling across the country. So
Awesome. Awesome. So, and Ariel, you look like you're under the age of 30 and you're doing, am I
I
right?
am I am 27.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And isn't it amazing and just totally rad, so to speak, that you can actually do all this online, not have to spend a lot of money, and reach millions and millions of people?
Absolutely. You know, a year ago, I said, okay, I want to open a recovery center. I want to start a talk show. How do I get started? I don't have the money for either of these things. And so I literally went, okay, well, I have a phone that has a camera on it,
Uh-huh.
and I have Instagram. So I started my Instagram last September with 200 followers.
Okay.
I now have over 23,000 active
Wow.
followers. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's amazing. So if you take those steps, once you get in line with what you are called to do, what your purpose is on life, the
Mhm.
other steps just kind of happen. And so anytime people are like, well, how do I get started? I'm like, just get started. Whatever
Right.
tools you have right at your fingertips, just start. So I started the Instagram, I built my following, and
Mhm.
then now I have transitioned to my talk show. So it is online, it streams online live every Wednesday. But so it's the same thing. Just start whatever tools you have, just start right there. And then the more you keep doing it, the more people that will come on board because they see how passionate you are and they want to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And again, the topic is so universal.
Mm.
Everybody can relate to depression, suicide. So I wish you all the luck in the world. I think that is just absolutely awesome. I am just really so impressed that at such a young age you already know what your purpose is, and it seems to me that you found that purpose through your own pain, and
Yeah,
you know that's what we try to tell people. Sometimes you have to go through a really hard place to find out who you really are and what
absolutely.
absolutely and what your purpose is in life. So you know, I wish you so much success, and please keep us in touch. Keep in touch with us. You know, we have the Author Chat Facebook fan page. So if you get a chance, please go on that page. All you have to do is like it, and then you can post all kind of information about your book, the World Suicide Awareness Week, the whole month, the different events that you might have coming up, and for sure, make sure you give us your schedule for your Google Hangout on air show. So, because
Okay, sure.
that's going to air every Wednesday, and what time on Wednesdays?
7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so I believe that's 9 p.m. for you.
Exactly, absolutely. Wow. Before I let you go, believe it or not, we're down to our last 6 or 7 minutes. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our listening audience? One
Yeah,
last.
I would just leave you with a few words. One thing that has always stuck with me is the story of a pearl. You know, a pearl is created through the injury of an oyster. So um, we may not like the hard times or feel good or want to embrace them, but just remember that through those hard times, we're being created and molded and sharpened into the beautiful pearls that we are. So never give up. You keep trying, and nothing lasts forever. And that goes the same thing with pain. It's a cycle. The sun rises, the sun sets. It eventually will stop. So just keep on it. Keep
Absolutely. One thing we say, I am a Christian and I take my faith very seriously. There is a scripture that says, let's see, sadness or tears come at night, but joy comes in the morning.
smiling. Comes
So,
again.
absolutely. So, and I'm sure I know I misquoted that because
I know the scripture. I got the gist. I agree.
but you know what, Ariel, I'm sort of like you. I think everybody is dealing with something.
Yes.
However, it's really how you decide that you want to handle it that's going to really determine whether or not you're going to be a survivor or you're going to be a statistic. So,
Absolutely. One last quote. I'm sorry. Steve Maraboli says this, but he
okay.
said, and I'm butchering it, but you're not a victim. You're a victor, and you have a history of victories.
There you go. I love that. I love that. That is awesome. Well, again, we wish you the best. If you could hold up the picture of the cover of the book again, please. Again, the name of the book is called Love Me. No, Love You, Love Me, Love We. Okay, and again, the author is Arielle Caputo. And as you can see, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name correctly, which is a beautiful name, so as by the way. Well,
Thank,
again, I wish you all the best, sweetheart. You
thank
take
you very much.
and thank you so much for coming on the Author Chat Show on Google Hangouts on air. Enjoy the rest
Thank
of
you.
your
It's
evening.
been a pleasure.
All right, sweetheart. Bye bye. All right, that was author Arielle Caputo. And again, the title of her book is called Love You, Love Me, Love We. Uh, I am just so impressed by this young lady. She is just a testimony to what a lot of our young kids can really do. They need to really, and I'm a firm believer of this. And those of you guys that listen to the podcast on Blog Talk Radio, and now listening to me on Google Hangouts on air, I am a firm believer that you have to really learn how to get out here and take some classes, learn how to work this computer, learn how to work the internet. For those, so many people have started just like Arielle. She just went on and just did it. She just jumped out there, took a chance, and started her own little talk show. She did her book by herself. That is so impressive. I am so impressed by you, sweetheart. All right, that's going to conclude our show for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning into the Author Chat Show on Google Hangouts on Air. And we will catch you, for those of you that listen to our radio show, don't forget to tune in Saturday. We're going to be at a different time. We're going to be on at 1 o'clock to 1:30 Central Standard Time, because I'm going to be conducting a workshop at the St. Louis Public Library, the Schlafly branch in our Central West End area. That's right there, Euclid and Lindell. It starts at 1 o'clock and ends at 1:30. And I'm going to take you, I'm sorry, okay, let me back up. The workshop starts at noon until 2. The first half of the workshop, I'm going to be talking about podcasting, how to get started, how to set up your account. We're going to basically concentrate on the Blog Talk Radio, but my plan is, if I have enough time, to show how the Google Hangouts on Air also works, because I'm just like Arielle, I'm just loving this. This is like having my own reality show. I feel like Oprah. But anyway, so if you're interested in learning how to how to be your own radio star, which is the name of the workshop, how to start your own radio show, come out to the Schlafly Library branch of St. Louis Public Library at 225 North Euclid at Euclid and Lindell, right down the street from the Chase Park Plaza. It starts at noon. You will have to pay to park. You have to either pay on the street or pay in the garage. But come on in. We're going to spend the first hour from 12 to 1 talking about podcasting, how to set up your account, how you could use it for marketing, promoting, for product, services, whatever it is that you're doing. And then the second half, which is going to be really fun, it's going to be totally hands-on. You can feel free to bring your laptop. But what we're going to do is I've already set it up that I'm going to broadcast live from the library, and I'm going to have a couple of my author friends call in, talk about their books, so that you guys can, the participants there can maybe ask some questions, and maybe sit there and man the virtual studio. It's really a neat thing, and just like Arielle said, it didn't cost her anything. I've been doing this since 2010, and I spend more money just publishing my books than I do promoting my books. And with that being said, don't forget to get a copy of my new book, the Author Chat's Guide to Promoting Your Book on a Shoestring Budget. So you can find out how to, just like Arielle did. She came on my show. She found me through my Fiverr gig. So she just did this for only what, $5-10. And now this is going to be, once I edit it, it's going to be turned into a YouTube video that I can put on my website. She can put it on her website or social media sites, and people can see it on YouTube. So, again, I can't even stress enough how important it is for you to learn how to use use a computer, use the internet, take advantage of learning how to use social media. I'm actually taking an online course through my St. Louis Public Library, where I'm currently working full-time, and they have these Gale online classes, and I just did one for podcasting and blogging that really, and even though I've been doing it for 4 years, I learned so much. So I immediately signed up for how to use social media in business. You get a certificate and everything, and I have that as part of the handout to show the participants in the workshop on Saturday. So if you live in the St. Louis area and you'd like to learn how to do what I do, feel free, just come on out. It's open to the public, totally free. Feel free to bring your laptops if you like to. And again, we're going to have a great time. So it starts at noon, and it's over at 2 o'clock at the Central West End branch. It's called the Schlafly branch, and it's right there at the corner of Euclid and Lindell. Well, believe it or not, that concludes our show for tonight. It was a great show. I hope you guys were as impressed with Arielle as I was. I mean, come on, 27 years old, and look what this young lady's doing. You know, and I see all the, well, don't get me started on people that refuse to look at creating their own business, their own careers, when you find out what your calling is, and then just, you know, you've got all this technology here, and it's totally free, and it's just sitting here. So take advantage of it. All right, guys, that's my show for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time right here on the Author Chat Show on Google Hangouts on Air. Good night.